Hi everyone, I'm Maria Goodman, a licensed midwife, a mama of 3, and the founder of PregnantTogether, which is an awesome membership community for pregnant people. On this channel, I provide you with the information you need to thrive during your pregnancy. Today we're going to talk about the different paths to midwifery in the US. So one path is out-of-hospital midwifery training. One way to train to be a midwife in the US is to become an out-of-hospital midwife. This path involves attending and graduating from a 3-year accredited midwifery program. I went to a school called the National Midwifery Institute, and I've also taught there as well. At the same time that you attend school, you also need to complete at least a 3-year apprenticeship program with a midwife in your own community. The apprenticeship model is really awesome in my opinion because you get to start just by observing births. And then when you're ready to get to do more simple tasks like taking blood pressure, charting, and drawing blood, you get to do that. And then the more birth experience you have and the more confident in your skills you become, you have more opportunities to practice as a midwife. And eventually when you're ready, you are the one providing care so that you really get to experience hands-on what it means to be a midwife, but with enough support so that you are not holding all of that medical responsibility until you're ready. Once you graduate and complete all the apprenticeship requirements, you're eligible to apply for licensure in your state. Fun fact, there are about 10 states where midwifery is still illegal or illegal in the United States as of 2023. So not all states have legal paths to licensure, and if you're looking into this path for yourself, I recommend doing more research in your particular state. I live and practice in California, so I'm licensed by the California Medical Board. I'm also a certified professional midwife, which is a national certificate program that works with all out-of-hospital midwifery programs across the US. I love being a licensed midwife because my training was specifically focused on home birth, and that is what I do and am passionate about. But for people who may want to be a hospital-based midwife, you'll need to choose another path, which is becoming a certified nurse midwife. So another way that people become midwives in the US is by going to nursing school for 1 year and then doing 2 more years of school to become a certified nurse midwife or a CNM. CNMs are trained to be hospital providers, but depending on the state, some CNMs may be home birth midwives as well. CNMs are licensed by the Board of Registered Nurses. This path is essential for people wanting to work in hospitals or wanting to have the option of working in a hospital down the road. Licensed midwives like myself are not legally allowed to work in hospitals in the United States at this point in time. But if you think you might want to do out-of-hospital birth, the downside of doing a CNM training is that CNMs don't get any training in what home birth entails. I have some friends who, after graduating from CNM school, went to apprentice with a home birth midwife to learn about how to start a home birth practice. So that is totally an option for some people. There's more institutional support for becoming a CNM, so that means that you have more options for financial aid, and there's also more regularity in your schedule, as well as a salary and benefits. As a licensed midwife, I run my own business, so that's a whole separate skill that I've learned, and there are so many wonderful things about it, but it's definitely not for everybody. Also, some advice for anybody who might be thinking about becoming a midwife is to try being a doula first, even just for a couple of months, just to see what it feels like to be on call and attend births and see if that's something that you can make work into your lifestyle. It's a whole separate lifestyle to be on call and to be ready at the drop of a dime to go support somebody in labor. And so I really recommend thinking long and hard if that's something that will work for you and work for your nervous system. But also know that being on call is a skill that you can develop if it's not something that you are used to already. So that's a little bit about the different ways to become a midwife in the US. This is different all over the world, and actually most countries utilize midwives way more than we do in the US. In the UK, for example, they actually recommend that low-risk birthing people have their babies at home with a midwife because it's just as safe as birthing in the hospital and it's way cheaper for their national healthcare system. There are midwives who choose to be unlicensed and unregulated. That's kind of like a more grassroots and radical way to become a midwife, but just to say there are midwives that do that. And while we're talking a little bit about the history of midwifery, I also just want to shout out that so much of the wisdom of modern midwifery is based on the knowledge of Black and Indigenous midwives that have been on this continent helping people have babies for many centuries. And so just to acknowledge that the way that midwifery is structured currently in the US draws from a lot of that sacred knowledge. And also there's a huge racial disparity in midwives in the US. It's something like 95% of midwives are white in the United States, and there are huge efforts going on to support the education of more midwives of color, because it's been shown over and over that midwives who reflect the person's community deliver better care and the outcomes are better. So at Pregnant Together, we donate 10% of all profits to an organization called Black Mamas Matter, in an effort to support this work towards healing the Black maternal health crisis that is currently going on in the United States. If you want to learn more about how midwives like myself handle emergency situations at home, you can head to this video.